Dear Labour Party, why did you steal my two union pensions, Post Office and NHS, and my father's lifelong AUEW pension and left him in dire poverty? He eventually died this year in despair and dementia. Why, Labour Party, does your members and supporters, and now Solidarity and probably Momentum, actively attack and abuse disabled and vulnerable if they do not agree to your full agenda and view? Why do you create and pass around false rumours and defamation to destroy someone's life and maliciously abuse them on top of their disability and abuse victim status, and after they have been made homeless and living on the streets due to your practices? Why do you, Labour Party, still support violence against women, rape and domestic assault? And why do you support paedophilia and sex with very young children, as long as they're not white, from another country and race, if they're disabled or mentally handicapped, earning themselves a living, or if they've already been done? This is my experience of you. This whitewash, this red paint of Solidarity, it does not exist. In 2010, I was removed from the Labour Party Meet Ed meeting for asking Labour Party to sort itself out first. I have been persecuted ever since. This year I promoted Jeremy Corbyn for PM. I joined to vote but was purged. I joined full member to find out and also paid £10 for data. I double paid to be part of the Labour Party as a disabled. The data said it's because I asked Labour to sort itself out first. I have been told after paying double subs and £10 for the data, after Labour taking my two pensions and my father's, after paying out and suffering, and finding my only reason for purges is saying, Labour, don't you need to sort yourself out first? I have been told with a smirk and a smug by Labour HQ that nothing you can do about it. Got the money, got the subs, got the membership, and there's nothing we can do about it. Dear Labour Party, you are really evil, wicked, sadistic, and an abuser of women, victims, disabled, and the most vulnerable for your values and your politics and power. I have worked all my life for the values of my mother and other true, intelligent, decent, working class people. They are not social values, they're the social gospel of a God of love and loving one another. The values of this country, and you are just sick sadists hungry for power. On Wednesday I was removed from another Solidarity meeting. They don't support people, vulnerable and tenants. They clearly said they were a political organisation. We're not here to help people. I'm disabled and severe trying to help others. I went to look for people willing to buddy up with disabled and those going through assessments and sanctions and tenancy evictions. I was remembered, rejected and hounded out. I found out they had access to my files at Labour Council in Hastings and that a lot of falsehood had been made about me. In regard to my disability and my mental health, which is actually strokes and post-traumatic stress disorder, due to harassment and assault and intimidation, they have actually said, your Solidarity, I'm sure you deserve your disability, and we're not surprised that disabled people and actually mentally ill women and mental handicapped who are attacked and sexually assaulted, they probably bring it on themselves. This is what you said. You're fucked up! You're fucked up! You said you're mentally ill. I said I had strokes and post-traumatic stress disorder. I was told I had no right to stand up for myself or contest anything they said about me. They said they didn't have to talk to me, do anything for me. After my father's death, I was had to leave the hospital and I had to wander and sleep on the streets just a few hours after my father died. During managing his funeral, because it took all my money, I had to, again, sleep on the streets for several days while I managed the funeral. This is a man who was working class, who was lifelong believed in the ability of a working man to work and fight his way out of poverty, and through his own ingenuity and hard work and skill to make his life. And you said he was scum, you took his pension, and you said that people like him and me are nothing. That is still your values, and that's the way you treat us. I'm not going to let you get away with it. I'm not going to let you get away with this pretense of being the people's friend. And the same socialist policies and propaganda come alongside, throw sweeties to the rabble, the masses, promise housing and jobs, sweeties as if they're children. I know how you think about us. You should always check the toilets before you actually have your conferences with your actual with your speech coaches and your PR experts. Check the toilets. We know how to deal with these people. We know how to lead them, what to say, how to raise your momentum and actually get the passions and the frenzy. I'm not going to let you get away with it. I'm going to say quite clearly what your values and your practice and your beliefs really are. In 2010, before I actually saw Ed, I attended a Coalition Against the Cuts meeting at Unitarian Church on South Street in Hastings. There was the Trade Council, unions, Labour Council, Unite, Solidarity of Left and Socialist, SWP. It was just after the riots when we saw people being set alight and buildings set alight and people jumping and actually hundreds of people actually being harmed. What the leader said then at the Coalition Against the Cuts, he said, "We want more of this. We want more of this. We want more policemen set on fire. We want more policemen to actually be permanently spinally paralysed from the waist down. We want a policeman to have a permanent head injury. We want to see disabled being dragged from their wheelchairs and abused. We want more of it." That's what you said. The leader of this Coalition Against the Cuts meeting actually said, "This is the directive from above," wherever above is. "We're directing all Labour councils to make the cuts worse, to make it worse and make people suffer. Purposely withdraw services from disabled and elderly and vulnerable. Cut community centres, cut the support, cut the actual personal and home helps coming in, to cut Meals on Wheels, to cut all help. Make it worse. Get people to suffer. It's good if disabled suffer and are evicted. It's good if the elderly die and actually die of cold-related diseases. Make it worse, but blame it on the Tories. That's the way to get back into power in 2015, but you didn't get back into power. I'm not going to let you go away with it. You're not coming alongside and you're not the people's friends. It's the same policy, it's the same practice, it's the same propaganda, and it's the same manipulation of people. You have no interest and you have no care, and I'm not going to let you get away with it. I said then to Labour, shaking and trembling and struggling, I said to Labour then, if you want to win in 2015, seeing as you've been corrupt and thieved pensions and expenses, you need to be the better man. Instead of making things worse, you need to go back to the original values of the miners' villages and the working class. Go around and knock on doors. Without being intrusive, ask how people are, where they are, if there's any need. Say that you're there for them. Say that you're going to organise a pot. A little from everybody can actually support everybody in time of need and suffering. That you are there to save the community and be its support. The Labour Coalition Against the Cuts socialists said, no, that's not our way. We've already decided the direction we're taking, and this is it. We are instructing everybody to actually make it worse, make the cuts worse, make people suffer, make the vulnerable suffer, make disabled suffer, make elderly suffer, make single mums and their children suffer. We need to make people suffer so they know not to vote Conservative again. and so that they vote Labour back in 2015. That was the plan. That was the value. That was the belief. On the back wall, behind the person speaking, as it was a Unitarian chapel, there was a huge, large, embroidered poster which actually said, "God is love." Love, faith, hope. The greatest of this is love. And that was right behind him, as he said, we are to make things worse, and we are to make the most vulnerable suffer, blame it on the Tories, and get back into power in 2015. I'm not going to let you get away with this. Solidarity, Momentum, Hastings Tenants Union have said they are just a political organisation. They are not there to actually practically help people. Okay. This is my letter to you. June night, Hastings, disabled, strokes, post-traumatic stress disorder, tenant, retaliatory eviction. Okay. And Labour said, we can always hurt you.